Post number 4 in GunShow June is your actual first set of exercises aside from the set of exercises that we did to use as our strength test. Today is all about SASS. SASS stands for Straight Arm Scapular Strength. The reason why we focus on this is that a huge portion of our bicep strength gets developed with straight arm movement. So just think of the gymnasts, especially the male gymnasts who have a lot of ring work and of course handstands, the horse, and the parallel bars. All of that is mostly using their straight arm strength, and that's why they have such developed arms without actually doing a lot of weight work with the curls and whatnot. Okay, so think about that straight arm, and I'm going to give you a funny visual, especially if you're like a big chested lady. When I say straight arm, one of the first things that you want to think about is actually squeezing your armpit, the side of your inner arms, against your body as tight as possible. Okay, what that's going to do for a lot of women is that's really going to have the effect of like pushing the boobage out forward. Go for it. Okay, try to make your chest stick out as far as possible. That will give you actually a really good feeling of the kind of tension and elbow position and shoulders down, arm squeezed position that you should focus on when we're doing straight arm strength. Okay, all right, so we're going to start with the first component, which is mobility and warm up, and then I'll walk you through a couple of different levels of the main exercise along with a couple of different levels of the burnout, which will be our isometrics, our isolation work. Okay, so the warm up, we're going to think about that shoulder, that scapula stability as we move our arms. So we basically want to think about moving the arms around the shoulders while we're able to engage and have a connection with the shoulders being very stable. All right, so just really always try to get that mind-body connection. That's how you're also going to get the most bang for your buck. Okay, so to begin with, we're just going to take our arms, thumbs pointing forward, straight up, okay, while we have a neutral, as before, neutral pelvis, neutral lower back. So do engage your abs slightly, do engage your glutes slightly, keep your shoulders down, and bring the arms above head, okay, without feeling yourself lifting the rib cage or the shoulders. Okay, then we're going to bring that down, and then we're going to reverse it up and bring it down. So this is not super fast, and we're looking for a few different ranges of motion here. If you're able to go way back without, again, cheating it by arching, then do so, and you will have almost like a butterfly stroke effect, which I absolutely cannot do. Okay, so go to that end range of motion for you, figure out where that is, because as soon as you're unable to hold your neutral position, or you stop breathing, or you feel yourself arching, anything like that, you've hit your end range. And just keep that in mind so that the subsequent reps or subsequent days, you're trying to get past that original in range of motion, increasing your range of motion, of course. Okay, so just do this for about a minute, okay, to come straight up, okay, and then circle it down. Feel that squeeze into the sides before you bring it back up, and then reversing it down. Okay, now the exercise is your straight arm lateral overhead raise with weights. If you find the weights too hard, just to do it without the weights, you will still feel it as long as you're engaged. Okay, so I'm gonna just start with 5 pounds and see how that goes. So what we want to do is just hold it in a neutral grip. So your thumbs are facing towards each other, sorry. What we want to do to set up is squeeze the sides, your arms to the side, have them glued there, your arms forwards in front of you slightly, and the arms straight, okay? So right here, you're already starting with a very engaged position, okay? Now we're going to raise it up to the side, okay? Again, having the arms go around the shoulders as the shoulders are stable, okay? Come up here to sort of meet, and then reverse that, keeping that arm straight, okay? Pause for a second here, and bring it back around. Again, reset. I suggest you take the half a second to reset for every rep. So shoulders down, slightly back, arms straight, slightly ahead of you before you begin again. Trying to move the arms only and not the shoulder blades, meaning your rib cage doesn't come up and flare up, which will bring your shoulders with it as well. If we were using a weight that's very challenging, so let me just jump to the 12 pound. What you're gonna find is that it's gonna be harder to keep straight, but as you come up and you hit that sort of a wall, then your body is going to sort of arch in order to do so, okay? That's okay as long as you're keeping that core on to protect your lower back, okay? Because it won't be an overarch or losing your engagement, right? So just make sure that the scapula, if you want to go ahead and film yourself, okay, remains as your stable landmark as the shoulder, as the arms move down and back up, okay? And coming back here and keeping that straight arm, okay? So slightly ahead. Pause, sorry, pause, straight arm, okay? And always reset, okay? Remember, when you're over here, you ladies, you're pushing out your boobage, okay? All right, now, either after you do a couple of sets and you burn out, or in between sets, okay? You need to take a bench. I should have told you want a bench or a chair, okay? Height doesn't matter, but you want to be able to have it narrow enough so that you could straddle it, okay? So a chair would work if it's like a long chair. I don't know, find something that's gonna work for you. You can use what you have, as I always say. Here, we're going to do the same thing by placing our hands in between our thighs. So grip the sides of that bench, and once again, you'll be squeezing the boobage, okay? And from here, if you can, and as high as you can, you're gonna do a sort of a planche position. So what's gonna happen is your shoulder will start coming ahead of your hands, and your arms will remain straight and locked, okay? So from here, we want to try to take our body and lift up, okay? And hold. This, if you can't lift off, that is absolutely totally fine. The point is you're trying to lift off, and as you do so, that's your isometrics right there. If you could lift off, then you'll come higher and higher and higher, and then you'll be able to hold it for longer and longer and longer, okay? So this kind of isolation or isometrics, we're just needing to hold for 6 to 10 seconds, okay? So here's 6 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay? The higher you go with the legs, the more you're going to be coming forward, okay? Working that stabilization of the scapula. That's the point, okay? You don't have to lift off. You don't have to be holding it for a long period of time. So I suggest actually that you keep going back and forth. Don't forget, if you don't want to use weights at this point because you find that you can't get it up or you're arching, then just stay with the hands. As long as you're super engaged, okay? Keeping the shoulders down, the rib cage down, arms straight, okay? And just keep pressing through the fingers and just keep feeling your shoulders stay stable as the arms keep moving. Still reset here, okay? And if you're not using weights and you want to make it slightly harder, as you stop here, you could do one little pulse and then come around, okay? Either way, pick a level, okay? Mind-body connection is my biggest wish for everyone.